So in this video, I want to talk about the other side of NIO that NIO stock investors do not see. And I got some very good things to talk about. So first of all, this recently just happened in Xinjiang. There was a flash flood. 2 NIOs got stuck in the mud and they needed rescue. And of course, they called NIO to help rescue them. And within like 2 hours, the rescue team, these were all NIO service reps, were there and they helped them get out of the mud. And this just shows that, NIO really cares about their customers. They really care about their car owners. They really never leave any of them behind. And this produces a really interesting ethical dilemma. At what point do you do what's right, in your mind, in your heart, what's right, or do you do things for profit? Some other really great examples, okay? So if you buy NIO's worry-free service, and they changed this recently, but 2 years ago, there was this very interesting story where a NIO owner, he was driving in a foreign city down south, and then he got into an accident. It was a pretty severe crash. Luckily, nobody was hurt. You get into an accident, the car will automatically detect that you're in an accident. Someone at NIO will call you, and then they will dispatch someone to you, and the call is like done within 30 seconds of you being in that accident. The guy will arrive within 30 minutes to an hour, and then they'll help you handle the situation, and then NIO will actually help you get settled somewhere within the city. So in that case, NIO booked them a hotel, to rest in, and there was a family of 5 people. So in a hotel, 2 rooms to rest in, and the driver, the NIO owner, was heavily traumatized. So they stayed there for 2-3 days. The car, meanwhile, was being towed to a service center, and whilst that was happening, because it was very traumatic, and he couldn't drive, of course, and his car was broken, NIO would normally give him a replacement car, a loaner car to drive. But in that case, because he was so traumatized, what NIO did was they bought them first-class train tickets. These guys, they were able to get back to their home city. And then afterwards, NIO fixed the car and then drove the car back to their home city. Just absolutely incredible service. But as you can tell, there's a lot of costs that go along with that, right? Booking hotels, booking train tickets, etc. That's one of the stories, all right? And then also, I heard, this was 2-3 years ago, if you buy worry-free service and you have the interior of a car, even if you use a knife and damage the interior of the car, they can replace it for free. And this is how great of a service that they have. And of course, they don't really say that, all right, but it's out of respect for the early NIO owners that really bought the car. Of course, another example that I've heard, and this is actual true examples. One of the early NIO owners that I've actually interviewed, Magic MX, this was before I even took delivery of my NIO. He talked about how one of his air vents was broken because he had a phone holder on top, and NIO just repaired it for free. No cost, repaired it for free, even though it was sort of like a human damage, right? If it had something to do with the quality and it broke by itself, yes, that makes sense for NIO to cover it under warranty, but that was clearly human damage as well. Also, he talked about how the door handle, there was a kid who tried to hang himself on the door handle and then broke the door handle. That was also repaired for free. So a lot of things free. Right? Of course, this is very heartwarming, very nice service, and they're very happy about it. But of course, this can't be sustainable. You have more and more NIO owners, more and more car owners, and if you're going to offer this same level of service and respect, that's going to be very costly. So of course, they changed a lot of things. A lot of things aren't free anymore. You got to pay more money now. But there's still that level of freeness, all right? And NIO's trying to strike a balance between what they're offering for free, how much they can do for free versus how much they're taking in money. And this is like a very interesting side of NIO that you guys don't see. They're always trying to do their best. So that's why NIO has one of the highest customer satisfaction ratings. Everybody that owns a NIO, most people that own a NIO are super satisfied. And that's why they say the service is fantastic. Another great example is when NIO has these battery vans, all right, battery vans that actually also use a bit of gasoline, but it's more like a portable charging van. And if you go to some remote areas in China where there are no charging infrastructure or swapping infrastructure, they can go there, those vans can go there and help you charge the car, basically allowing you to drive your EV to anywhere in China that a gasoline vehicle can go. All right, they have this basically as a guarantee. And then, of course, it helps solve range anxiety. But of course, those cars are pretty expensive to operate. I mean, if you drive in the middle of nowhere and you call them, they gotta bring those cars over, and that's gonna cost them quite a lot of money as well. What is the point of doing all this? Why would they waste all that money to do these kind of things, go out of their means to help these NIO owners, etc.? And it has a lot to do with customer loyalty, right? Because they're doing these kind of things, people really treat NIO owners really treat NIO differently compared to how other people treat their car companies. NIO owners see NIO more as like a buddy, all right? And this is why we come back to the point of community culture. Because NIO takes care of you, you also sort of in sense take care of NIO in a way. For example, like NIO user volunteers at the showrooms, at the auto expos, NIO owners will be happily there to help sell cars, right? As a buddy, right? As if you're helping out a friend, right? Your friend needs help with their business, you're there to give a helping hand, right? Just like when you're in trouble, your friend will be there to help you out, whether you're stuck in the mud or you're in a horrible accident. They're going to be there to help you make sure you're doing okay. And likewise, what NIO CEO sees is that, we keep on staying true to our thought that if we do things that are good, we will be repaid with acts of kindness, okay? And of course, that is partially true as well. NIO has one of the highest referral rates, right? About 70%, according to NIO themselves, 70% of customers are referred, right? That all has to do with them being treated nice, being treated properly. If they were treated like shit, they would not tell their friends and family to buy a NIO, right? This is why, like, when I have my friends and family, I tell them, hey, you got to buy a NIO, right? You won't regret. Of course, they're skeptical, and everybody's skeptical. This is why it's so important, right? But how do you strike that balance? And does this get abused? And the fact is absolutely yes, this does get abused. Some people abuse the hell out of it. And this is what frustrates me. And this is what frustrates NIO CEO as well. It's extreme cash burn, guys. It's extreme cash burn. For example, if you do like a regular maintenance or regular anything to do with servicing the car, fixing the car, NIO's going to wash the car for free. NIO's going to charge it up to full and then send it back to you. That's just part of the great service. But some people are abusing this like crazy. Like, for example, there's some weird sound with the window. They'll just call in the service. They're going to go wash this car for you for free, charge it full, bring it back. When there's actually nothing going on, right? People abusing the system. And also, if you leave the car at the service center for more than 3 days, you're going to get some NIO points back. Well, this was the old policy. You used to get some NIO points back. So what people do is, hey, I'm like, I want to earn some money. So why don't I just, there's something wrong with the car. I tell them, hey, put it there at the service center, and then say, hey, I'm outdoors. I'm somewhere. I'm not in the city. I can't take the car. I'm just going to leave it there for 3 days, 3-4 days, or maybe a week. And they're earning NIO points every day whilst the car is being parked at the service center. How crazy is that? Being abused, of course. So obviously they changed this. They changed this, which is good. But it shows that NIO's act of kindness, right? It's fantastic. It's what makes them so much different from all these other automakers. All these automakers, they sell the car, they don't give a shit about you. Here, NIO, they sell the car, and then this is where you just got started. You're joining family, basically. But it does get abused, and this is something that, of course, they're fixing. They're trying to close those loopholes, which I think is being done for the better. But what people have to see is that this other side of NIO, all right, this really nice, kind side of NIO, this really creates customer loyalty. So what you do eventually see is that people that switch to NIO aren't likely to switch to some other brand. Whereas for those people that buy other brand vehicles, they have basically very little brand loyalty. Okay, they might jump ship to an Audi or might jump ship to another car, but more people at NIO will stay at NIO. Okay, their next vehicle is still going to be a NIO, and also has to do a lot with the privileges that NIO gives a lot of these NIO owners. Okay, so this other side of NIO is what makes me confident of NIO's success. Right, in the minds and hearts of a lot of NIO owners, they see NIO more as a buddy, constantly loyal to NIO. So I'm not too worried about the brand not being successful. Of course, what's really interesting about this whole debate is the fact that with Envo, it doesn't have this service, right? This revolutionary service, this revolutionary gratefulness, kindness, it's not there for Envo. So that's why some people are saying, hey, why would you buy a Envo car when you can buy a NIO? But that's for another video, okay? As always, stay safe, stay healthy. Peace out.